Willem Dafoe though, joining Robert Eggers' Nosferatu. I haven't said a remake because I actually backstepped from that. I put remake in this graphic initially. And then I realised that, look, Robert Eggers doesn't really do remakes. He's not really a remake kind of guy. He's very much a fresh thinker. He will come at this from a different angle and recreate the entire fucking Nosferatu story from the ground up. Nosferatu will be there, but it will be an Eggers story that Nosferatu is living in. You're in my world now, Grandma. That is what Robert Eggers is saying to Nosferatu. You're in my world now, you little weird baldy bitch. And you go and live in my world. That's what he's doing. He's cast Willem Dafoe. I vaguely knew about this. I think we spoke about this before. That Eggers was doing a Nosferatu movie. I think we discussed potential castings, but nothing was greenlit or fully cemented at that point. I now come to this news put by James White again. I always seem to read James White articles at Empire. Thank you, James. Once again, I'm plagiarising your work, mate. You are making my show for me. Thank you very much. I come and I read this and I discover that not only is Willem Dafoe joining the movie, but Bill Skarsgård's in there, Lily Rose Depp's in there, and Nicholas Hoult already firmly a part of this Nosferatu movie. Willem Dafoe, if you were to ask me who could possibly play Nosferatu, I'd have said Willem Dafoe. But it seems like Bill Skarsgård's already sort of, get the jump on him, and he's going to be portraying it. That is Willem Dafoe a more emotive, I was doing Liam Payne there, after the slap that was heard around the world, Will Smith. Anyone that's not seen that interview, search up Liam Payne, Will Smith, Jada Pinkett Smith, Chris Rock. Some of the weirdest 5 to 8 minutes you will see or hear in your existence, but needless to say it's well worth it, because Liam goes through about 3-4 different accents in the course of 5 to 10 minutes. Seems like he is gouching, I think that's the word, when you're on amphetamines, pills, and your jaw's doing a dance. I don't know if he was, he may have been on cocaine, I don't know what he was on, he may have been on nothing. This is all alleged. But he was certainly on something. And Emouter, he kept calling Will Smith the world's greatest Emouter. He sounded like fucking a Welshman. And Tom Jones, I'm not entirely sure why, because he's from Wales, I believe. Wolverhampton. Wales is the football team, Wolverhampton's the city. Do better, John. It was really weird. I said emoter. Is Bill Skarsgård a better emoter than Willem Dafoe? I would suggest not. I think Willem Dafoe has got a very emotive face. What that guy can do with his face can be terrifying. My personal preference would have been Willem Dafoe playing Nosferatu, but look, Bill Skarsgård's a fantastic actor. Great range, can do everything. Can play an alcoholic, can play a killer clown. Can do everything. So super excited to see Bill Skarsgård once again in a movie. A horror movie, no less. I have to prefix or sort of state before I go into any further discussion about this, I have not seen the original Nosferatu. It was many, many years before my time. I want to say at least 70 years before my time. It's like a 1920s silent movie. It's creepy as fuck. I've seen the images. It's weird. It was from that era where it was prosthetic heavy and some crazy, crazy imagery conjured up by these filmmakers and indeed the makeup teams from like 100 years ago. Weird, weird time. Almost worse than what we get now with the CG and stuff like that. It was fucking the jerkiness of the movements, the silent movie, the prosthetics. Weird. I've seen the images. I've seen GIFs of Nosferatu. Not seen the actual movie though. So this would be almost like what Pet Sematary was for me with Jason Clarke, I believe it is. I had not seen the original 1989-88 Pet Sematary movie. I went in with sort of open ears and eyes for the remake. I enjoyed the remake. People who seen the original fucking hated it. This is what this is going to be for me. Not seen the classic Nosferatu. Going to watch Robert Eggers. That will be my first introduction to the character. And I have to say, Robert Eggers, man, fucking tremendous director, really. I think I've seen every movie this guy has done. I'm not entirely sure I have. I'm going to search it up right now and make sure I have seen every movie that Robert Eggers has done. He's a very young man, incidentally. He's only 39 years of age. And it's remarkable what this guy has produced over a very short career. I'm not interested in production designer. I'm interested in directors. I've not seen them all because he has 6 movies in the can. 3 of them are short stories though. Hansel and Gretel, that just seems like the perfect match for me for Robert Eggers. I don't know why. There was a Hansel and Gretel movie came out and he would be perfect doing that. I want to see him remake that story. Classic German kids' tale. It's the fucking most German thing I can imagine. Reading your kids a horror story. No one else does that, but Germany does it, and that's probably why they are just up there in terms of economics and all the rest of it as a powerhouse, even after 2 world wars where they lost consecutively. Of course they did. There's only been 2, and they lost the 2 of them. What a stupid thing to say, John. I digress. Mostly shots of his feature-length movies. I've seen them all. The Witch, loved it. Anya Taylor-Joy. Your man that played the mustachioed arsewipe from The Office. Going to search him up just now. Going to look. Ralph Ineson. Kate Dickie of Game of Thrones fame. Brilliant cast, a small cast, claustrophobic as hell. New England. Salem Witch Trials era. Brilliant horror story. Suffocating. Period piece. Cinematography was wondrous. Directing was wondrous. It was a weird movie, but it was a brilliant movie. It was a Marmite movie. I loved it. I love Robert Eggers. The same can be said for The Lighthouse. A Marmite movie. Me and Stephen watched it. We were howling. We were horrified in equal measures. Loved it. Willem Dafoe was in that. So was Robert Pattinson. There was a girl in it. It gets its neck snapped. It was black and white. It was a fucking great movie. The Northman, one of my favourite movies from last year. Willem Dafoe's in there again. You see the sort of the connection starting to happen here. He likes to work with Willem Dafoe, and you know why he likes to work with Willem Dafoe, because not only is he an outstanding actor, but he's a selfless actor. He's not so up himself, so hubristic, so full of his sort of own brilliance, that he will refuse to take a sidestep for another leading actor like a Bill Skarsgård or a Nicholas Hoult. He's quite happy to come in and play a great character role and work his magic off to the side of the main sort of shenanigans. That's why he works with him. In The Northman, he was playing a sort of, he was like a witch doctor, a Norse witch doctor. It's a weird character, but again, what he was doing with his face, the camera work, that movie. Bill Skarsgård was in that movie as well, I'm sure. Was he? Alexander Skarsgård was in that movie. Another Skarsgård. That was fucking great. That was a great movie as well. Where am I going here? I love Robert Eggers. I've watched all of his feature-length movies. I've loved every one. They're all different, but they all have similar vibes going on. They have his artistic style, which just seems to resonate with me for some reason. And I have no doubt in my mind that this Nosferatu movie will resonate with me, because it's not the actual story. It's not who he gets in to play these characters, although that's also a huge part. A movie, as brilliant as you are as a director, Robert, you can only really work with what you've got in front of the camera, and if they're shit, the movie's going to be shit, mate. You can't put Tommy Wiseau in Nosferatu, your take on it, and think it's going to succeed. It just ain't. You can't put fucking... I'm trying to think of another poor actor here. Who's that guy that came out and criticised the MCU recently? Scarlett Johansson. Stephen Dorff. You can't put Stephen Dorff in a Nosferatu drama horror movie and think it's going to succeed. It's going to fail. You need great actors. Willem Dafoe, Bill Skarsgård, Nicholas Hoult, Lily Rose Depp, brilliant actors. So, well, it's going to resonate with me, man. I love the guy's style. I just love his movies. It's an iconic horror character, widely accepted as being one of the most horrifying and scary horror stories put to film. So, super excited to see what this guy does with it. Super excited to see his take on it. Super excited to see what role Willem Dafoe takes. Cannot wait for the first trailer to come out. Is it going to be black and white again? I feel like it should be, because it just works with Robert. He knows how to deliver that authentic period goodiness, man. If it isn't in the actual setting and the sort of tricks he's doing behind the camera with his cinematographer, it's with literal aspect ratios and film in black and white. So, really excited for this movie. Hope it's came across. I feel like I've been very excitable. I've been very jumpy. I love Robert Eggers. Looking forward to it.